Okay, to make this first layout, we're creating a 2-page 12 by 12 spread, and I'm taking all of the pieces that I cut. I love that you can start by just going through the cutting diagram to cut everything for the entire workshop, and then you're ready to start assembling, and it makes it really easy to just work right into the creative process once all your cutting is done. So I'm going to start with the left page. I've got all the pieces that I had pre-cut for this, and one of the fun techniques that we're doing that help just to create that look of the aging and antiquing of this project is the tearing. So I'm taking this linen cardstock, it's double-sided, and so all of Close to My Heart cardstock is two-toned. One side is lighter than the other, and it really helps to just add another little detail of color and a little variance there. And when you're tearing Close to My Heart cardstock, it is white cord. That is one really unique feature of our cardstock. And so when you tear it, again, if you're tearing toward yourself, you will get that white core showing through. If you do not want the white core, then tear away from yourself and you won't see the white core. So it's kind of nice that you have both options. And because this cardstock is double-sided, I'm tearing the same color, but I'm layering it up so that you can see the dark and the light, and it's just a nice subtle touch that just adds another level of texture and color. And then I'm layering that nice border sticker. I like sometimes thinking of using the borders along the outer edges instead of the tops and bottoms. And now we're assembling the die cut envelope. And so it's so fun to use these dies because the idea and the concepts are all there for you, but you don't have to spend the time recreating all of the pieces. You just simply punch them out and then you're able to build. And I love the interactivity of this one because the envelope will stay open so you can actually tuck things in, and we'll do that once we add the photos and journaling. So we've even thought of everything. There's an envelope liner as part of this, and so you can easily add that envelope liner to the actual envelope, and it just kind of, again, makes it look even a little more detailed there. So now I'm going to place the entire envelope piece as the center of my page. This is where I'm really going to keep all the focus and everything's going to build around it. So now I'm going to all the die cuts that we've punched out. And again, I sorted those by page. It's all listed there for you so you can see how the which pieces go on which page. So I'm pulling all of those together. You've got beautiful flowers, another envelope, lots of different journaling tags and pieces that will just really add the detail. And then because you have the die cuts and the sticker sheet, you can mix and match all of that to add even more details that way. So I'm using some foam tape to pop up some of these florals. Again, that's going to help you with some dimension and being able to layer these flowers and tuck the leaves and the little flowers in anywhere. You can follow along with the picture in the brochure that comes with this workshop guide, or you can just have fun. There are so many details and pieces that you can utilize in this workshop to make whatever you want with all the die cuts. You can even mix them from page to page. You don't have to keep the die cuts for the page that they were designed for. If you see something that you love on another page, feel free to just pull it in and use it wherever you want, especially with this Yesterday and Today collection. There's such an eclectic mix of pieces that depending on your photos or just some of the details you're trying to document, you can really mix and match all of these things and they'll work so well together. So you can see I've built an entire floral cluster on that left side, and by using the foam tape and having all the loose pieces instead of one solid sticker, you just have so much dimension to that. We've added the butterfly up there in the top left as well with some foam tape, and now I'm going to build in the bottom right. So just to keep that visual interest with these patterns and the accents kind of going on opposite sides and opposite corners of the envelope will really just help draw your eye to that center of the envelope itself. So now I've got all those flowers in place, and then we can add in some of the sticker details. So now I'm coming to the sticker sheet, and I grabbed my Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir marker so that I can add some extra details. We're going to use this marker on lots of different pieces throughout the layouts that we're creating in all the different videos. And you can see that beautiful black and white bird on the sticker sheet was perfect as is, but because I'm mixing it with some of these other details, I thought it'd be really fun to add just some of the marker to shade him and kind of bring him to life a little bit more and add a little more color and depth to that bird. And these markers are perfect for that because you can simply use one marker that comes with 3 different shades of a color to help blend that all together so nicely. So I did trim off his legs just so I could tuck him in there. You could definitely leave the legs on if you've got room to fit him in. And you can see how just by darkening him up a little bit, it added just a little bit of depth to that sticker image. And now I'm popping up the little bracket that says then and now. It looks like it's all metallic. The title's already printed on there for you. And then you've got these decorative metal looking pieces that look like drawer pulls or just some of the things you see on really beautiful antique furniture. And so that's a fun detail to add to the envelope as well. So now I'm going to the wood pieces. And again, using that same marker, I'm just coloring over the wood pieces and it works just like a stain. So I'm getting that wood to have a more antiqued, a more aged look. You can definitely, we're going to color a lot of pieces in this kit, and you can definitely use just one color and you can see how well that just stains it. You still see the wood grain, but it's darker and a little more aged. I went ahead on this bigger piece and went through and used, again, the darker shade of the marker. There's 3 shades on each marker itself. And I went through and just added a few more streaks, which again, just added even more depth to that wooden piece. I did that just on the bigger ones. The littler ones you wouldn't be able to notice as well. So I'm using the other wooden little dots kind of as buttons on each side of that title piece. And again, the wood, it just brings in a whole nother texture. And then I've got a little fleur that I'm adding up in the top left. So that one, again, I colored with marker. So now we're going to add pearls. So I love that you can get a little soft, feminine touch mixed in with some of these aged, more metallic pieces. And again, using that Spectrum Noir marker, there are so many things you can do with it. And by coloring over the pearls, you keep that pearlesque look, but then you have just, it looks more like a little copper pearl. And it's such a beautiful touch to that. So definitely leave them white if you want to, but just showing you even more possibilities with these awesome markers. With all the different colors of Spectrum Noir markers, you could make your pearls or sparkles any color you want, and it's so fun. So I've got these beautiful photos of my grandmother. She is currently 103 years old. I love her. And these pictures were taken last year when she was 102. And I thought it would be fun to document, especially with the title being Then and Now, a photo of her in her younger aged years and then something more current. I love that we got such a beautiful photo of her hands. She still crochets and gardens and is always doing something creative and always just keeping herself busy, which has kept her so healthy and happy. And so on this page with the envelope, I'm tucking in that beautiful photo of her hands. And then the piece in the kit calls for this journaling square. I think my plan, and just an idea for you, is to go back and find a letter. She writes us letters probably once a month and mails them to us. And so I have so many pieces of her handwritten word that I could put in that envelope. And so right now I've got the placeholder for the journaling spot, which is part of the workshop cut down pieces. But just an idea for you as you're documenting these important stories. Maybe you have an old letter that you can add. Maybe it's, a birth certificate or anything that might be actual documentation from some of the photos that you have would be a great way to add a story to these pages. So I finished that off with just a few stickers. You saw the photo corners and things come together. And now we're going to build the right page, which again kind of mirrors the other in the part of adding the strips of the linen cardstock. So again, I'm using the tearing technique, the lighter and darker side of the cardstock to layer those together. And again, tearing toward myself will reveal that white core. So just doubling up these pieces and attaching them to the right side of this page to frame the whole layout when you've got both spreads together. So adding that scallop border again, just another fun touch. And then we're going to add the photos. I'm using my toffee ink pad. It's a beautiful color to use for aging and distressing. So with a sponge, I'm able to just get a nice soft antiqued look to that paper. And it's French vanilla cardstock. So now I'm mounting that to the center of the page. My photos are going to go right in the middle. They'll be the focal point of this page. And we've got another fun die cut that is the envelope. This one isn't interactive, it doesn't open. You could definitely leave, as I did there, the foam tape so that you could tuck things in below it. This is a zip strip from the pattern paper that I'm adding to the bottom of the photo mat. And so you can see I've got a spot where I can leave that open so that this little journaling card tucks in. So make sure you do a little measuring of that. If you want that to be able to pull out, you could definitely just journal on it so that only what you see sticking out of the envelope is what is written on. But if you want to continue that story, then make sure it's interactive and you can pull that out. So now I've got this beautiful bracket journaling square, and I'm adding some of these word strips that say remember this, and also good times. You can mix and match any of these. You can definitely leave them off if they don't fit what you've got. And then I've got these two photos. They're not exactly the same size just because of the files from that much older photo. And so I'm layering them on top of each other and angling them. If you have two photos that are the same size, you could definitely lay them straight and line them right up with a perfect border around. But I actually really love how that layered on top of each other and angled just kind of shows the difference in the two photos. So I've got the photo on the left of her at a much younger age and just shows her beauty then, and now we see her beauty now with all her age and wisdom. So again, just like the page on the left, we're going to build these floral clusters. And so I've got all the different pieces from the die cuts that are exclusive to the workshop. And I'm just layering them top left and then bottom right of this little envelope to build such a fun cluster. The butterflies are being added in, the leaves. And again, you can follow right along and match the dies, or you can just have fun playing and building your own little floral cluster there. Got just a few more that bring it all together. So now we've got, again, those beautiful bracket pieces. They look so dimensional. You could always, too, add liquid glass over any of these stickers or these metal pieces that really make it look like it would actually be metallic. That liquid glass would add dimension and shine to it and really make it come to life. So that's another fun option for a technique you could add to this. And I've got another one of those wooden pieces that I, again, colored with the marker to age it and bring it a little darker. You've got this little jewelry piece and a binder clip. The awesome thing about using pieces that feel old or antiqued is just layering, just bringing in all the eclectic feel of them and kind of making it feel like you've found a box of ephemera that you're sorting through. And so it's just a fun way to really think about all the pieces you have and just making an eclectic mix of things. So I've got two more wooden dots that I'm going to add, just kind of sprinkled around the page. Again, it brings in just another color because they're darkened with the marker. And then my pearls that I also, again, colored with the marker to just add another little aged look to them. So you've got metallic, wood, and pearl all mixing together, which just feels so perfectly antiqued and heritage. So here's the finished spread side by side. I love all the florals and how beautifully they accent these envelopes that feel like you've just found a treasure, which these photos definitely are to me.